Greetings, Geek Warriors. It's time for a Daclus quality review. That's right, this is the first quick cast being recorded. It should also be the first one out. I think I should get this out pretty quick. This is a Daclus quality review. I think I mentioned that. I am Trevor Allen, and I will be today reviewing Alice. This is going to be a little bit different than I think the rest might be going forward. I'm going to try to work out some things, maybe try to do this more live. Get more interaction and things like that. You might be able to hear some things going on around my place right now. There's cats running around. They're pretty excited. Other people coming in and out because I have roommates, and my computer, my desktop, it sort of makes some humming sounds, so you might not be able to hear it, but you might. I don't know. This mic is pretty good at it's one directional, and it's really good at picking up just that one voice. You have to be pretty close to it. So anyway, I'll get started actually. This has been way too long without me actually talking about the movie. So we're talking about Alice today. Alice is a 1990 film. That's when it was released. It's directed by Woody Allen. It stars Mia Farrow. And you're also going to hear me clicking because I'm going to be clicking around on my computer. But I'm going to read a quick summary of the movie off of IMDb. I have several pages open for IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and Wikipedia. I'm just using them sort of as a reminder of certain things, mainly like names, people involved, and stuff like that. But this movie, all right, let me just read the storyline. Here we go. Alice Tate, mother of two, with a marriage of 16 years, finds herself falling for the handsome sax player Joe. Stricken with a backache, she consults Dr. Yang, an oriental herbalist, who realizes that her problems are not related to her back, but in her mind and heart. Dr. Yang's magical herbs give Alice wondrous powers, taking her out of well-established rut. That's written by Carl Seiler. I guess there's someone from IMDb wrote it. But yeah, it's a weird. The main reason I wrote this is because decided to watch this movie is because I started a sort of little project where I'm going through genres, specifically actually more subgenres than genres. And so the one I'm on now is the one that Alice was under magic realism. I'm sort of going in a random order. I used a random generator and put a giant list of genres up. I already watched one. There was an Australian new wave one. I'm on magic realism right now. That's this one. Even though it said that, for some reason going into it, I didn't pay close enough. I didn't really read the storyline before I went into it or anything. I didn't read a synopsis really. But I just sort of thought it was a Woody Allen film with a romance. I didn't even pay attention to the fact that it's in the magic realism folder, sort of. Well, not folder. The file wasn't not the movie. I mean, just I have notes and stuff under it. But yeah, I didn't, for some reason I completely didn't even think about it having sort of magical properties in this movie. So I was a little surprised when it did happen. But anyway, I'll get into this a little more. I think I'll start out with just sort of my overall thoughts of the movie. Overall, I'm gonna say for its time it was good, but it was also the 1990s. That's not that long. It was 1990. That's really not that long ago. So I don't know what I'm saying exactly there, but it's sort of ahead of time in its female protagonist who deals with sex and romance and all that, and it really delves into that. I think this is actually my first Woody Allen film. I'm gonna open the IMDb page for Woody Allen if I can figure this junk out. But in the meantime, I'm gonna talk about the overall. It was hard to get into it first. It took me a little while. I'm more of a modern. I'm more interested usually in modern movies. This is a big thing of me going back and watching movies. I don't do it very often. I usually watch movies when they come out, and that's mostly it. I don't watch a lot of movies again, nor do I really go back and watch movies that have been out for a while or came out before. So usually either I see it in theaters, I'm not particularly likely to see it at all. and mostly I stuck to for a long time the superhero genre, well, comic book movies in particular. Um, and so this is sort of I started a Daclus quality thing review thing on my YouTube, and I was able to see a bunch of movies because I was able to pay for a subscription, but the price went up, so I couldn't afford it anymore, and so I had to stop doing it, and that's sort of why this is coming back in a different style of where I was seeing every movie that came out in theaters. Now I'm seeing just going back and looking at movies. But from those previous Daclus quality reviews I started at the beginning of last year, I decided I started just really getting into movies and being a big fan. I was already into sort of movies, but it was only the ones I saw, so it wasn't. I didn't have a lot of variety. I felt. Wait, I mean, Woody Allen has directed so many things. It'd take me forever just to slowly go through this thing. I've probably seen something. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, this is the first Woody Allen film that I can really think about and sort of knew about going in. It's a Woody Allen film. Um, so for me, it's actually a Woody Allen film. This is very good because as I was saying, and I kind of meandered off. That's going to happen with me. I'm a meanderer. I sort of get stuck on something and I'll go off tangent for a little bit. I'll often, I think, find my way back, but sometimes I'll forget stuff. But we can talk about that more later. Maybe in the comments below. I'll talk to people if they have any comments or want to ask questions and things like that too. Hopefully, I think I said this at the start. I said something about this of hopefully in the future, different production changes. I might be able to do this live, maybe a live chat, maybe something like that. Maybe make this more of a book club type thing. I'll talk more about that at the end actually because I had something. That's why I didn't say the whole thing at the start. But anyway, we're going to talk about Alice. This has been way too long with me not talking about the movie that I saw. This is a Woody Allen movie, Mia Farrow. It's very good. You can see what I know about Woody Allen is a lot of his protagonists, which I know at least he does a lot of his own sort of acting is the main character in his movies, or he used to. But they're sort of like him, I guess, in that he has that nervous talking way. Sort of, I guess I kind of do it too, but he sort of picks out those characters. I know, because I think Cafe Society, he did one recently, which he had, what's his name? He played Lex Luthor. Jeez, Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg was, I think, one of his most recent movies. Might be his most recent. It's the last one I can recall he did, but he was the main character in that. So he has that sort of nebbish, nerdy sort of quality to him. And I think Mia Farrow in this also had that pretty strongly, and it was very good. But I think what picked this movie up for me is the that it really took that turn of the magical part was interesting. It's a bit, as you might guess by the storyline. It's also a magical Asian character who just sort of magically does stuff because they're from the East, so they have magic plants that do magic things. They're not based on anything. It's just sort of, here, I'm gonna do this thing and yada yada. And but in terms of what the actual magic did, it was very well done, and it really worked in the movie because the movie feels so much like your regular romance sort of movies, and it just the weird mystical stuff just works its way in and works really well for in this just sort of basic romance style without any big focus on those things. It was just like normal. It felt somewhat normal, even though it was a strange thing. Overall, yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It took me a little while to get back into it and get with sort of the times of a movie that's in the past, which always happens for me, even though 90s, again, not that long ago. But it can still take me a little bit, I think, to start getting into sometimes some of these movies. But it's already, even though, it's not that long ago, it still feels, there are certain things that are definitely out of date that they don't hold up modern times, which that is in modern times, but they don't hold up currently. Some movies can hold up even past their time. This one has certain elements, just really don't hold up at all. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's not incredible. I wouldn't recommend rushing out to see it or anything like that. But it's more of, I don't know if it really appears on TV, but if it did, you might just watch it, take a look at it. It's pretty decent. Um, what else we have? We have well, we have the other actors. Let me go through some of the other actors. The main other actors we have are Joe Mantegna. That's Joe. They play Joe, uh, the saxophonist who she sort of falls for, and William Hurt plays Mia Farrow's husband in this. That she cheats on and everything goes down on, or she wants to cheat on, or whatever. And then, I mean, those are the main sort of stars. Then you have Dr. Yang, who's not really credited so much in other things because probably because his character didn't do much. His career didn't take off or do anything. I don't know. I'd have to look at him, but he's listed lower on the Wikipedia page too. Where is it? Anyway, so that's Kai Luke, and he plays Dr. Yang. But there are a few people in this as well that showed up that I did know. You have Alec Baldwin shows up later in this film at one point. This is sort of, I guess, early in his career. I didn't watch too much of his early films actually, so I don't know. It's strange. I more know Alec Baldwin currently than I don't think I really knew him growing up in the '90s. Even though he's in movies a lot, probably more than now. Now he's does a lot more of showing up on SNL and stuff. But he's got that Boss Baby movie, so he does movies. But Sybil Shepherd. There's one other person. I think it was Ron Howard shows up in this movie. He has a quick cameo, which is pretty funny. I think it was Ron Howard. I think it looked like him. Or I'm mixing people up. I always do that, but I think it was Ron Howard. But yeah, it was yeah, it was a fine little movie. It's not great. It has definitely out of date problems and racial issues, which is pretty usual for most movies. Even currently, there's a lot of problems with it. But in terms of quality, I can see why people like Woody Allen now. I think from this, as someone who hadn't really looked into him but knew his name, knew certain things about his style from things I've heard or jokes and stuff like this mostly. But overall, this is a good gateway. I feel like a good, at least for me as someone just jumping into a Woody Allen film, it's a very good starting point of going, okay, I see why people like this movie, even though now it doesn't work. It doesn't really hold up as strongly. It still works pretty well. This review feels like a jumbled mess to me. At least it's the way I talk. It happens. I'm better with people to bounce off of, but I think also it's just the time of this right now. I had to really squeeze in when I'm trying to record this, so it's not my most awake. I would say I just got off work, so I'm not full of energy right now. But I'm recording this when I had time. I finally have time. Hopefully in the future, as I was saying before, that I'll be able to get more of maybe a live element, or I'll figure something out. If you know anything, if anyone who's listening, well, I guess by this time a lot of people who might be listening to this, other Patreons, there's only one. We have Ryan Sasaki. That was terrible. Ryan Sasaki. I said that I had an extra S in there, I believe. I said Sasaki, but Sasaki. I'm so terrible at reading words. Just I could say it if I weren't looking at it. I could probably say it better, Ryan Sasaki. But I don't know. I can't look at words and read them, apparently. I don't know. I did it for the synopsis, actually. I was pretty surprised that I read it beforehand, though. I sort of read it ahead of time before I started recording so that I'd have it in my mind. I have to say some stuff out loud, usually before anything I read. I have to say it out loud once, and then say that before I can say it again, probably, because I'll mess it up the first time I have to say something out loud. Anyway, this is a weird review. It was a decent movie, as I said. It's very rich, white I'm guessing Woody Allen probably grew up in that area around that place because it feels it's very much coming from a place of these are sort of an upper class type people, but it has a really good ending. I think it does say a lot. It has a lot to say. I liked what it says. It's a somewhat feminist piece, even though Woody Allen, because I don't know, I didn't know what to expect because I know Woody Allen has a lot of and I don't know too much of the details about his controversy with I think it was his niece or cousin or something that he may have molested, or she came out and said has talked about this. I don't know too much about it. So I can't say whether I believe it or not and all that, whatever. But I kind of did. It still affects you, and it makes you think, the movie might not be that great. I mean, it's with female characters, but it does. I think it works really well. Either way, but yeah. I don't recommend it particularly, but if it's just on. If the 1990 movie Alice is on, or if you're a Woody Allen fan, you can watch it. Or if you're like, you haven't really watched any Woody Allen, it's actually a good probably starting point to, if you want to like check something out that's Woody Allen, that feels Woody Allen. To me, I guess I can't really recommend that because I haven't seen enough Woody Allen films to say this is what Woody Allen feels like. Watch this one and you'll get all of them, because it's not really what it is, but it's at least a good starting point to show what Woody Allen can do in terms of making a good movie, because that's what this is. It might not be one of his greatest. I don't know what is considered his greatest or one of his greatest, but it shows that he's a good filmmaker. It shows you can tell in this is a very well made film. Very different from a lot of films probably at the time. And now there aren't really films like this now that take that magic realism approach that is taken in this film. So yeah, that is my weird review today. My weird jumbly thing. So I'm gonna get back to now the thing that I was saying before. Of hopefully I get to do this live, yada 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 yada. Shoot, what was the thing I was gonna say? I want to do a live thing, hopefully. Sort of work this like a book club. So what I was saying is that I started going back and watching different films, and the way I'm doing it is through genres, subgenres, and going forward. So I'm going to give you sort of the next one. And I think I'll do this forward. You'll get the one that I'm on next, so we can sort of watch it maybe together. Maybe you can ask questions to me when I post on the Facebook or on the Patreon. Ask questions about what you want to hear me talk about the movie, sort of anything like that. Put it in there. No spoilers on the Facebook, at least. Patreon, maybe mark, hey, spoilers or something on this. Beforehand, or you can send them to the Geek Wars page. You could probably send them through message through there. I don't know if you can or not, but if you can send it to our regular Geek Wars page, or you can send it through email to us, or maybe Patreon message, that would work. Any way is mostly comfortable for you. Tweet it at me at Daclus, and I will get to you with any questions or whatever. Hashtag Geek Warriors for anything, or hashtag Daclus also works, or at Daclus, because that's me. Hold on a second, I'm going to pause just because I need to cough. Whew, sorry about that. I have some real bad coughs going on. It still might come up again, because basically I got pretty sick, and the cough's just stuck around, and it's really bad. This is the worst cough I've ever had. So I'm trying to drink a lot of water. Plus, I got a phone call, which didn't really help either because I had to keep talking more while I needed to cough. So yeah, what was I saying? Shoot, now it's been a little while because actually that took a little while. That was a long phone call. But shoot, yeah. So going forward, I'll be watching movies, and hopefully we can talk about it a bit more and be more interactive. Because it works a lot better for me. And I think for you too. Hold on. I'm going to cough again. Oh, jeez Louise. Anyway, the next category. Oh, jeez, cat's getting really... Alright, those cats were really getting at it. But anyway, going forward, we'll be listening. The next film in this group, I might put the next film on my list. The next category is sex comedy, which is the first one. I'm doing like sort of the first ones first. I don't. It's based on the Wikipedia how it categorizes things and lists. I tried to get the first one first that's on that list, but other things came up. But this is the 1966 movie Alfie. All I really know about it has Michael Caine in it. I think I've heard about this because I think I heard there was something Michael Caine did where a sex scene in it might have been real or something. I think that's something about it, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. Hold on, I have to pause again. So anyway, if you want to watch the movie Alfie going forward, I didn't do spoilers for Alice. That's not something I normally, at least I did before when I did the YouTube Daclus quality reviews. But with this, if this becomes more of an open forum where we can discuss things back and forth, I'm giving you more of a heads up. I didn't give a huge heads up with Alice. Actually, I did between my recording time and my watching because I didn't have time, and I had I have a bunch of roommates. So this is like lucky that there aren't people around right now for me to record, which is great. But yeah, so I'm giving you this heads up. I want you guys to be ready. I want you to ask questions. I want to get into spoilers. I might not do it right away, but I'll get into it in a different section. But yeah, we'll see Alfie going forward. We'll do this. I'll let you know what I'm watching next. It might not be directly what I'm watching next because sometimes just different things happen. Maybe I'll go to a movie at the movie theater and I'll throw it up here. I probably won't do the geeky ones that we'll talk about on Daclus Quality Review, just because we don't need to do it more than once. It might feel, I don't know, maybe we will. If you want one, I can give you one as well, but I might not, because I also, in between watching Alice and this, I did see Lego Batman, but we're recording our Geek Wars right after I'm doing this, so I think, and we're going to talk about it on there, at least a little bit. I don't know how much, but we're going to talk about it on there. So go over there if you want to hear me and the other people on Geek Wars talk about Lego Batman. But that's it. If any movie in theaters, I'm interested in seeing the movie The Cure for Wellness. Looks pretty interesting. So I think that might be the next one I go see, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. I really have to cut. Really sorry about that. It's all the talking has really made me lose all the water, the moisture from my throat. Recording the Geek Wars is going to be tough, I think, later. I record it it's an hour away, but I have to walk over to the studio where we record, so that takes a little while. So it'll be a little longer than that, but I'm gonna have trouble covering up a cough there because I have more control here. But anyway, that is my first Daclus quality review for the quick casts for the Patreons, specifically for you, Ryan Sasaki. If I'm pronouncing your name wrong, other than that first time, or that first time for some reason was right and you have a silent S in your name, I don't know. But one time I just took a sip of water without pausing. But anyway, Daclus quality review. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ryan Sasaki, for checking this out. And until next time, geek out. Bye.